Alright lads, so one of these special things about the 10th anniversary is the fact that we did get new original designs for both Ichigo and also Rukia. It was the perfect choice for a decade of brave souls. But most importantly, as already stated in the description, this is the potential start of a series similar to Beyond Bankai and also Beyond Resurrection. They're calling these forms part of the Soul Ascension series, and even the banner image itself is saying that this is the first stage. Now it might be a while before we do see more Soul Ascension units, but if this is going to be a series, I would have another discussion going over the characters that I want to see part of this series. In a way, you can look at this as a top 10, but also keep in mind this list is purely subjective. Everyone's going to have a different list, so let me know yours in the comments below. First up, coming in at 10th place, I want to see a Soul Ascension Renji. And there's one big main reason for that is because simply put, Rukia has already been done. When it came to the original Beyond Bankai characters, the two biggest omissions that were very surprising to not be seen a part of this collaboration was Renji and also Rukia. Now that Rukia has been done, Renji is one of the last remaining popular storybirds that has yet to receive an original form. Obviously, there are other characters too, but he is pretty much the most popular one. The thing is, though, is that Renji is likely going to get a 1000-year Bloodwork character based on his core 3 moment eventually. And truth be told, it might be a while before we start to see Soul Ascension units in-game. My guess wouldn't be until 2026. So I would love for this character to be part of the collaboration, but he doesn't really need to be part of the first set of banners. Regardless, though, Renji has a lot going on with his Zanpakuto representing a snake and also, I believe, baboon. And I'd be very curious to see what type of god this character would represent, because that is what Soul Ascension seems to be. It kind of takes the characters and puts them to a godly form. Ichigo was based off the sun, Rukia was based off the moon, so I'll be very curious to see what other characters would be based off in their Soul Ascension forms. But yeah, ultimately I'm putting Renji at 10th place because he's likely going to get a good character soon. He's not in a rush for a new character, but he is one of the last few storybirds that has yet to get an original form, which is what we were saying about Rukia until the 10th anniversary. In 9th place, we have Eizen Sosuke. Now, truth be told, if Eizen was to receive a Soul Ascension unit, he would likely be one of the more exciting releases. Ultimately, though, I'm putting the character in 9th place simply because he already has an original character in-game. He has his 6th anniversary Hogaku Evolved version, which recently did get a renewed version part of the pre-anniversary, so once more similar to Renji, we aren't in a rush to get a Soul Ascension Eizen, but I would be very excited to see what they could potentially do with this character, especially due to the fact that even though he already has an original form, again right now it's kind of like a Hogaku Evolved form, even though this form itself does give him a godlike appearance, I would love to see a different route with this character. Personally, I would love to see the character keep its long hair, this time likely have the arms attached to the body, and look more divine than what we have with this particular form, which in a way is almost perfect. I've been saying for years now, if there was any character other than Ichigo to get an original form, for me, it has to be Eizen. In 8th place, and this might come at a curveball, I wanted to include Tensu Zangetsu. Now, he's kind of a weird one, right? Because simply put, he is a Zanpakuto spirit for Ichigo. Ichigo's already received an original form, plenty of them. But I feel like Tensu Zangetsu's a really cool character, and in a way you could include White in this as well. Equally, I would love just to get new characters for both White Ichigo and Tensu Zangetsu, but I think it'd be really cool to see a different route with this character, even though he is very connected to Ichigo. Through the Blood War arc, we do see that Tensu Zangetsu was Ichigo's Quincy powers personified, and I feel like an original form for Tensu Zangetsu that maybe somewhat leans into the Quincy power would be very cool to see. While also, of course, having a lot of similarities to the currently existing Soul Ascension Ichigo. This one is by no means a must-have, but I feel like it would be cool to include him or White Ichigo as well. In 7th place, we have Grimmjow, who, to be fair, already has an original character in-game, but you know what, maybe I'm being greedy, I wouldn't mind another one. The main reason for me including him in this list is regarding the Soul Ascension title. As of right now, admittedly, we don't really know much about it, besides it giving them a godly appearance. But what I would love most about this particular series to stand out amongst the rest is that it would be great if it really could include any character affiliation. Beyond Resurrection only included Espada. Beyond Bankai only included storybirds, but more specifically, captains. It would be great in a way to get a new series of original units where the possibilities are endless. Quincy's, storybirds, Espada, any character could be part of this series, and I think that is what would make it stand out and make it more unique. So when it comes to the Espada, I think Grimmjow or therefore Okuro would be great additions to this collaboration or series, especially given their popularity status. It would also be great for the Aranka affiliation as a whole, as as we are now currently in an era of 1000-year Blood War, even seasonals are 1000-year Blood War. When are we really ever going to get new, really powerful Aranka affiliation units? There will be the random new character every now and then. Earlier this year, we did get a new Ogiura part of the 100 million download celebration, and we also did get a Tres Bestia banner. But with 1000-year Blood War being the norm, it's going to be very rare for us to get Arankas that are actually solid, good top-tier units. And I feel like Soul Ascension, maybe in the year 2026, could offer us new, powerful, fan-favorite Arankas that are actually top-tier units. In 6th place, we have Yugrim, a character with a lot of status in the Bleach universe, especially as the right-hand man for Yhwach himself. As of right now, though, in Brave Souls, he doesn't really get that much love. It's ultimately merely due to the fact that his big moment is in Core 3/Core 4 of 1000-year Blood War. But as of right now, this is the only character that exists in-game, and he was a Brave Battle unit. A really good one during the 5th anniversary, but a Brave Battle unit nonetheless. Like already mentioned with Grimmjow, though, I would love to see different affiliations part of this collaboration, and an original Yugrim, there's so much I think you could do with him, especially if you maybe include some almighty aspect of the character. Not to spoil an upcoming character on this list, but it would be really cool to see that character alongside this one in original forms and see how different yet similar they potentially are. With Yugrim's inclusion, you could also again include any other popular Sternritter, but I feel like if you were to include a Sternritter, Yugrim should be one of them. In 5th place, we have Ichib, and also at the same time, if you wanted to include them, the other Squad Zero members. These characters have status in the Bleach universe. They're 5, more so 4 cool characters. And to be fair, similar to other characters in this list already, he is going to get a new character eventually. But like we said, with the assumption that maybe this series is going to kickstart in 2026 onwards, I would really love to see what they could do with an original design Ichib, especially under the Soul Ascension design/theme. Ichib already has connection to the Soul King. In a way, he's already a godly character in the universe. And I think in an original design/take on the idea with his Zanpakuto, Ichimonji, I think it would be really cool looking. Again, I truly believe that nothing should really stop K-Lab from experimenting with this Soul Ascension series, include a plethora of characters from every affiliation, every part of Bleach, and personally, I believe Squad Zero should be a must-have inclusion, especially because they also don't have original forms just yet. And I guess it's also worth mentioning too, as we are progressing through Season 3 and 4 of 1000-year Blood War units in Brave Souls, we really only have one more Squad Zero character coming out, and that is Ichibe's Futen Taisatsuyo. Once that character is done, the only new Squad Zero character we are going to get are maybe the occasional seasonal. So this would also be a way to keep Squad Zero characters relevant, despite us already receiving all their canon characters. In 4th place, we have Chad. Now, I'll be truthfully honest, Chad is, to me, not the most exciting character. In fact, I think all the characters listed before him would be more exciting, and I'd be more excited for them. But at the end of the day, Chad is a main character. Even if he's not the most popular character, he is a main character nonetheless. And as of right now, when it comes to the main cast of characters, Chad is one of the few characters that has yet to get an original form. But with that, I think Chad would make for a perfect addition in the Soul Ascension series. Especially due to the fact, like I already mentioned, beyond Bankai were for captains, beyond Resurrection were for Espada. Soul Ascension should hopefully allow us to get characters like Chad as an original form, because I think he does deserve it as one of the main characters in Bleach. And I think in general, it would just be really cool to see a powerful Chad that isn't relegated to Brave battles. Unless a Soul Ascension Chad does end up being a Brave battle unit. But with this character's hollow powers, which we actually do see represented in Ichigo's form, well, I guess these aren't hollow powers, but they do look very hollowy. It would be very cool to see where K-Lab can take this with a Soul Ascension form. And moving into the top 3, we have Yhwach himself. I think for many people, this character will be at the top of the list. And regardless, to be fair, of it being part of the Soul Ascension series or not, I really want to see an original design Yhwach, if possible, for an anniversary. It's what we wanted during the 9th anniversary and didn't quite get that. Again, what I want this Soul Ascension series to be is just more than what we've already gotten. Let the characters be wild, let them be random. And a Soul Ascension Yhwach would be absolutely amazing to see, especially because, again, he does have connections, more connections to the Soul King, as he is the son of the Soul King. Having an original form that enhances his almighty form, but maybe makes him look closer to a Soul King would be really cool to see. There's a lot you can do with an original form Yhwach, And like already mentioned, if they could pair that with Yugrim, I think it'll be a very cool duo. I think out of most characters, Yuha deserves an original character, no matter what, regardless of this series. But if they want to include him in the Soul Ascension series, that would also be pretty cool too. In second place, maybe this one isn't a surprise, we have Oriime. Now, ultimately, I'm putting this character in number 2 because of her status as one of the main characters in Bleach. In fact, a lot of people leading up to the 10th anniversary wanted this character part of the anniversary, an Ichigo, Rukia, Oriime Soul Ascension banner. Now, we didn't quite get Oriime, but I think her powers once more would work very well with a Soul Ascension form. Right now, she's the most popular main character that has yet to receive an original form, and a popular character in general. With this Soul Ascension form, I would love for her to be similar to Ichigo and Rukia. I would love for Oriime to take on a godly appearance, but also maybe an enhanced version of her Shunshin Rika. Oriime in this series already has a very powerful ability, and while she isn't much of an attacker, turning her into one maybe in this Soul Ascension form would be really cool to see once more. Again, there's a lot you can do with this character, and I would love for Kev to go absolutely crazy. But in first place, and this might come at a surprise. Again, this is my subjective list. I'm allowed to be biased, and I'm being biased in this case. The character that I would be most excited about part of this Soul Ascension series would be a new Kugo Ginjo. I did kind of rant about this on stream recently, but I feel like Kugo's been done so dirty in this game. His first initial release was heavily overshadowed with Fullbring Bankai Ichigo, and that was pretty much the last time this character was an end-of-month unit, and the other releases pretty much just been a mid-month easy skip character. And I feel like for such a cool character, that's a real big shame. Kugo had a chance to be a really good character with the Calm Field collaboration, but then they ended up making him a normal attack damage character that didn't have a transformation effect, so it was only him in his base form. And out of all the big villains of Bleach, they've all had original forms or have been celebrated in an anniversary. Besides Yuha Bark, but you know, 1000-year Blood War anime characters are still new. There's always a possibility that happening in the future, not so much with Ginjo. They've kind of wasted the opportunity to do an anniversary Ginjo, and therefore an original form Ginjo. But if we are to get more Soul Ascension characters released outside of an anniversary, I would absolutely love for this character to be included. Because again, his Bankai form is already so different to his base form. In the novels, he was someone that was almost supposed to be the Soul King. Not like that matters, but you know, there's again a lot you can do with this character. There's a lot you can do with every character. But personally, I feel like this character for a final villain of an arc has just been dirty. And right now, this is his last chance to get a really powerful unit and a cool unit too. For most people, he won't be the most exciting release, but most of the characters we did list today are going to get new characters, Blood War units, great units. Ginjo, not so much. And with Ginjo's inclusion, you can include the other Fullbringers. I didn't include them in the list, but you know, you can kind of group them all together. But with that, that's basically my list for the characters that I want to see part of this Soul Ascension series. I'm excited to see where this series is going to take us, because right now, Ichigo and Rukia's designs were absolutely amazing. Some of my favorite designs in the game. Caleb are already giving us plenty of teasers that this is going to become a thing, and likely will be getting further announced in 2026 onwards. In my opinion, this is a perfect opportunity to give us original designs for characters that have not been ever done before, and maybe even a great opportunity to do more original designs for those that already have it. You'll notice in this video that I didn't talk much about Soribas, but there'll be plenty of Soribas that I'd be excited about, but given that they've already been done original forms recently, I didn't want to really include them. Besides Eizen, because I feel like he's a special case. But let me know in the comments below what characters you want to be seeing part of this Soul Ascension series.